Okay, so we're back at the vault for Thursday racing, and it is on the classic track. A very competitive card indeed, and some decent-sized fields. As of the get-go, we get underway with a maiden handicap, where for some, the best bet on the afternoon will be taking up its place in the lineup. That is racing at the vault on a Thursday. We're previewing on a Wednesday morning. So good morning to you. Welcome to it. It is 12:30, the off time to that Thursday program on the classic track. Well, before we go any further, we've got our very, very red hot man, a man who is certainly bursting with at the seams with all the winners. It is Daryl Marie, who certainly, it must be said, no fun intended, and on a serious note, a very, very good tipping day on Saturday.
Yeah, funny enough, everything fell into place.
That's correct. And I mean, it's not a regular thing as far as punting goes. Even the best laid plans that seem to go our way.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, thank you so much. I think many people out there will say you really did have pulled all the stops out. Let's hope it continues, but no 2 days are the same. But the way you are playing at the moment, I think it could be a repetition. It could be ditto. Race number 1, Red Legend. For most is a good thing. Is that a good thing for you in this maiden handicap?
Cecil, you know how I knew Saturday went well.
Yes.
I got a message from Miss Fundi Satebe.
You're not the first person to actually say she followed your tips, and well done to you. And of course, it's good to know that we are under the microscope constantly. But I do believe that she did follow your tips.
Yes, and let's hope we can keep the ball rolling.
Oh, well done.
Opening leg of the bar pots, I played the safe route. I put the top 2 in the betting. Normally in a maiden handicap, I look for a little bit of value. I couldn't find anything strong enough to include with the top 2 in the betting. My third choice happens to be Mizra, number 7. I think he can improve. His looks don't correspond with his form. He's such a nice looking son of, I think he's an act of war, if I'm not mistaken.
It is an act of war out of a black Menalushme, a black kitten.
Yeah, so if you are playing trifectas and quartets, please include him, number 7, and also include number 11, Prince of Miracles, into the back end of trifectas. But the top 2 should suffice, number 1 being Red Legend. Last time out, he got touched off in a handicap, take note. He did pick up a penalty, I think £4 for that second. In that race was a horse called Gamer. He ran third, he came out and ran second to Robin Claessen's horse.
That is Cane Train.
The Cane Train, correct. Yeah. My first choice happens to be number 4, Hat Trick or Treat. Now you can see he's actually improving with each and every start. I like that. And he's got 58.5 to shoulder. He actually beats a red hot favorite. I went out the bar pot the first leg that day.
Yes, I do
trained by
recall.
Joe Soma.
That's I do recall.
Serrano or something like
Serrano,
that. Yeah,
that's
so
right.
1 and 4 should suffice.
All right, hat-trick or treat in the colours of Mr. Albert Rapp was a 1-2 for the last time it ran. It ran second behind the stable companion. Skittles, Sky Zoom, Daryl. He's being a bit modest. Did play to beat that favourite Serrano with Skittles Skies on that particular occasion, and hopes that it happens again with the hat-trick or treat. That's your buy pot. Underway at 12:30, 72 Rand the outlay. Well, Mr. Marine made the first race, a boat race that is in the first leg of the bipod. We'll now get into the first leg of the PA race number 2. This is another maiden handicap. Fillies and mares over the mile, and we should be underway with that PA at 1:05. An important form update to pass on to you, and that's the 2 Future Date, beaten by one of Daryl's selections on Saturday, and that was Theatre of Life. Future Date virtually made all, and literally went toe-to-toe with the eventual winner up onto the line, and eventually succumbed at 0.75 lengths to Theatre of Life. That is over a distance of 1450. This time they extend that distance to 1600 meters. St. John Gray and Muzian. I don't think there's been a meeting. I've actually been on course in the last month, 6 weeks that I haven't spoken to St. John Gray, and mostly it's with Muzian in tow.
I hope that continues. This filly was priced up as big as 16 to 10 by some firms. But punters latched on quickly because, this is a maiden handicap. The weights for this race were published before her latest form update. You can see she's running off a rating of 75. Now, on Saturday, when she ran second, she actually ran to a rating of 84, which makes her 4.5 kgs well in on ratings. So all she has to do is reproduce that effort and she'll take all the beating. The only hiccup could be that the race comes too soon for her. Take note, the tongue tie does go on. She did wear the tongue tie on Saturday. So yeah, with a little bit of luck in running, she should dawdle this.
All right, so right now the betting, it's future date at 15 to 20, 3 to 1, the one ambitious lady, 5 to 1 at the 4 TikTok edition, it's 8 and better. There is that place accumulator bank of the 2 in that first leg, and it's an outlay of 288 Rand. Of course, the percentage drew 10% to 28 Rand 80, 25% to 72 Rand, all up to you. Fractional betting very much in operation on our tote, and that is courtesy of 4 Racing. Okay, so the football season in full swing. We're back to club football, and of course, this week sees the start of the newly expanded Champions League. Lots of matches that they have to go through. I think there's even talk some may refuse to play in the latter part because the workload is just so heavy. But we're going to be looking to playing on the Betway platform, and that is accessible. It's a lot of football Champions League coming through, and of course, the Europa will be coming through tomorrow. Let's get back to the racing. It is the first leg of the Pick Six. A car dominated by lowly handicaps. I think our highest rated is Merit rated 80, and that comes a bit later in the narrative. And in race number 3, we've got an important scratch in the one of Solo Diva, who had been at the first choice of our computer form selector. Leaves us a field of 9, and the favorite is the 3, Annie with an E. That is at 17 to 10. The 2, Free in Seattle, 22 to 10. 4 to 1 is the 8. Count to your chances. And then the 4, Give Me the Flame, is at 7 to 1, 12 to 1, and better bar those. Well, we were just bemoaning the tough luck that Mr. Waishong Mawing was experiencing, and we all thought that, of course, the one on Saturday in the last backover favorite Track and Trip could be the game breaker, and hopefully that is the case. Annie with an E certainly is overdue that next win.
Yeah, you know, they'd also the bookies running for cover. They were actually taking 13 to 10 come race time. They backed it as if the result was known. Yeah, let's hope the floodgates open now for Waishong.
Well, certainly. I mean, here we've got a Gavin Arena aboard. He retains the ride after a good second behind a two-step Queen. And in that race was one of the market rivals, the 2 Free in Seattle. Who else was in that race? You had the Count Your Chances and the 10. Angel of the Morning, who certainly has to show big improvement to be a contender.
Yeah, now strictly, if you open the book and you see the current odds of Anne with an E at 17 to 10, you'd say that represents value because she holds her dangers, Free in Seattle. She holds Count Your Chances, and they're only half a kilogram better off. So on paper, they really have to lift their game to reverse that form. Now, if you recall, I actually tipped Anne with an E last time out as my value bet. She actually pinged the gate. She broke best of all. And then Gavin, you know, a vaal straight is a difficult race to win, and they looked for some cover, and she got it. But she was closing in smartly in the latter stages. You can see in the past, she's actually won from start to finish. So I'm sure Gavin will have his options open. It all depends how she comes out the pens. I like her chances, but I do have respect for Count Your Chances. Now, she won't give you any confidence going down to the start. And she also spoils her chances at the pens. She comes out slowly. But I like the fact that she goes around the bend again. In my mind, she's much better when she races around the bend. You can see both her career wins have been on this course. Let's hope she doesn't tarnish her chances at the start. And I'll make her the danger to the current favorite. So I'm hoping I'll get through the opening leg. If you want to go wider, possibly look at numbers 2 and 6 to include.
All right, 3 and 8 are the ones that are the principals in that first leg of the Pick Six for Mr. Marie, 1,200 Rand. And it's a handicap, fillies and mares, 64 that gets underway at 13:40, race 3. Sans number 1, Solar Diva. All right, so we get into another lowly handicap. This time a merit rated 66 handicap. It's due over the 1,800 meters, an off time of 14:15 to that first leg of the first jackpot. And another of Darryl's good things on Saturday comes into play here. Man's Night won its maiden, and that beat the running on a Man's Night. That was IQ rather. who won the race, and it was a man's night who was running on nicely under the urgings of Striker, who returns to ride for the stable of Lorenzo Karim and owner Manu Pandaram. Just finished that 1.80 lengths behind High IQ. Now meets winners in race number 4. Now the betting has the 2 Caliburn at 5-2, the 5 Flag Bearer at 28-10. The 6 Guy Alexander 3-1, 7-2. The One Man's Night 11-2, and Better Bar Those 4 Go is back on the tracks. Is a course and distance winner once over from 3 outings. Billy Raters is in a very good form. Muzieni gets the ride this afternoon. What do we think of this very trappy contest, Mr. Marie?
I put him full go in the jackpot, but I know he's well held. You can see if you go back in form. I mean, Flag Bearer's got him stone cold at the weights. He's 5 kgs better off.
Guy
But
Alexander?
you know, Billy's stable's in good form. So I've included him. It's a small field. Flag Bearer, the apprentice got a feel of him last time out. Did nothing wrong. He's in cracking form. He's probably going to be the likely pace setter with that 4 kgs off his back. I can see him keeping on rolling and getting it right. Guy Alexander, let's see how Count Your Chances went in the previous, because she represents the love tap form. What I do want to say is sneak preview came out in dead heat from that form line already. Then we got Caliburn, who on paper there's absolutely nothing separating himself and Flag Bearer. Man's Night interests me. I know he's a maiden, but I'm not reading into that whatsoever. Let's see if he lines up. Okay. What happened last time out, he got fitted with a Cornell collar. They took off the blinkers and they fitted the tongue tie. Now the blinkers are yet to be removed and the tongue tie is yet to be fitted, but the Cornell collar is on. And if he's taken that run well in a lineup like this, I can see him actually winning. So numbers 1 and 5 are my top 2 picks. Respect for 2, 4, and 6. Very tricky.
Thank you very, very much. And there is the jackpot as confirmed. 1 and 5, you said your first 2 picks, and then of course the supporting act, 2, 4 acts, rather 2, 4, and a 6. The outlay is 300 Rand, and you have to be on by the off time to race number 4 at 14:15. Well, we have been talking about it, and it is actually going to increase, and the visibility will only grow. It is already in your faces, but it will grow. That is the Betway signage, and rightly so. They are the sponsors of all our race meetings, right up to and including the Summer Cup and beyond. Now, race 5 is a case in point. It's a Betway Fillies and Mares 64 handicap. It's over the 2,000 meters. Now, here there are no form updates to give you. There is an equipment change. The 6 eye-catching will be fitted with blinkers on the 3rd run for the new stable of Yanni Boorman in the colors of Mr. Sadlier. Now, lots of Avalon Toast form line to talk about here in race number 5. The favorite is the 4 Ideal Future, who was beaten by Avalon Toast and came through to frank that form next time out. It takes up its place again with regular pilot Trent Mayhew, 2-1. The 1 Play with Fire, another one out of that form line, 33-10. The 2 Angel Wish, also behind Avalon Toast, 33-10. The 5 Have a Party, I've stopped saying it, yes, in that race as well, 4-1, 5-1, and Better bar those quoted runners. Mr. Marie, is that form line going to be of any pertinence? It is, of course, in distance form line. So I don't know if that is part of your thinking.
I don't think it's a course in distance. Avalon Toast won that day on the inside track.
Inside track of Turpentine. Of
Yes.
course, I'm talking about the tight track. Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
it was Turpentine.
But it's interesting that you touch on that form line, because if you dig deep into that, you'll see number 1, Play with Fire, should come up trumps. In saying that, she was ridden by Dennis Schwarz on that occasion, and now she's been replaced
By young
with a
apprentice.
4 kg apprentice. I liked her run last time out. Going through the 400, it looked like she was actually traveling sweetly with SK. It was an average merit rating of 70, if I'm not mistaken.
70 it was.
Now she drops down to a 60, so she plummets in class and she gets the apprentice allowance. She's got fitness on her side. I like her chances. She's my 3rd pick.
Okay.
Now, Ideal Future and Angel's Wish competed against each other last time out beyond the mover. If you watch that race carefully, Ideal's Wish actually sliced through the field and looked like she was going to fight it out. She just tied very late. She always moves up extremely well. So maybe, just maybe, coming back in distance will be favorable for her chances. I like her. But in that very same race, Ideal Future was exposed at the top of the straight. And I think maybe Storgate number 2 over here, she'll get some cover. And she can confirm that form. But I don't know. I don't know how the pace is going to be and how it's, I don't know. It's a fillies and mares handicap. So I've gone all of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I mean, number 3 has to build on her latest effort. She did pick up a penalty, but she won convincingly. And number 5 is well held, but she came out sluggishly on that occasion. So yeah, 2 and 4 my top 2 picks. Respectful 1, 3, and 5.
Well, the slide has been up there for quite some time now. It's a 420 rand outlay, and it closes at 1450 with the running of race 5. Well, for us, regular visitors off the Vaal, midweek, we will miss Risky Business. Won't be taking up its place on Thursday. I'm sure St. Graves are watching, but certainly has done nothing wrong. Lots of Risky Business form line in the race. The likes of the 7 Southern Style, 2 runs back, were beaten over course and distance by Risky Business, who's not there, but that was just by half a length. Now, as far as favoritism is concerned, and a worthy favorite, will it win eventually for the long-suffering supporters? I know Paul Marks has often come through expecting to lead Fast Duty, and hopefully can do it on a Thursday. The stable is bang in form, and everything seems to be in its favor. That is at 5-2. The 7 Southern Style, 4-1. 5-1 is the 3, Captain Jim. 11-2 is at the 8, and that is Kitty Boy's a Girl. 17-2 and a better bar those quoted. Donald, I just need to ask, and I ask with all the genuineness in the world, all the sincerity. Captain Jim 5-1, isn't that too short given the handicap that it won, that maiden handicap, and just about got up to beat Red Legend?
Yeah, I think, you know, I certainly wouldn't be shocked to see him feature over here. But yeah, he's a bit short. I think the value currently, the way the market's been structured, is 8.5-1 Guerrilla Warfare. And the 12-1 Green Scepter. Now, let's touch on Fast Duty. If you have a look at his latest form line, you'll see there's 1 winner from 8 runners, but he ran 5th on that occasion. There are several indirect winners, namely the 4th place runner, Prince of Kildare, won indirectly. Yeah. 6th was Run for Cover, and 7th was Coming In Hot. Now, if you look at his form, he's always close up. Yet his rating continues to drop. So he's been close up off a 71, close up off a 70. He's now for 65, and he's a hold-up type of horse, so I think Gavin will suit him. I'll give him a chance. But I like the look of Guerrilla Warfare. You know, I watched his latest start because he was having his first run as a gelding, and he was pulling terribly. But I watched him in the straights, and he just fell away. Maybe he choked up because I do see the tongue tie has been fitted for the first time. So I'm willing to excuse him of that effort. Prior to that, I Belong, Pistol Pete, Mount Pinatubo. I'm happy. Almond C. I mean, what more can you say? He will improve on his comeback effort. That I can state. The value also, Green Scepter. Now you can see he's got 52 to shoulder. He's not under sufferance. He's got the 1 draw.
It's got Cabello on, who gets a good tune out of it.
Yes, Cabello will place him perfectly. And the stable's having their winners now. So I think you can't go wrong backing numbers 1 as 10 as a bit of value over here. But I think Fast Duty, we need to beat him to get the cash. So yeah, 1, 4, and 10 to fight it out.
All right, let's give Green Scepter another chance. The merit rating certainly is as low as it can get, 1, 4, and 10. In that first leg of the pick 3, which will cost you 24 rand. All right, welcome back. It is looking ahead to race number 7, our penultimate event on the afternoon on the Vaal Classic track. And we're looking at the top-rated race, the merit-rated 80. We drop all the way down to 1,000 meters for this penultimate event of the afternoon. Kind of a reunion of quite a few meeting and renewing rivalries in this 7th race off at 4 o'clock. Now, as far as the favoritism is concerned in race number 7 at this moment in time, Don't Shoot the Barman is a weak favorite, tipped to come through and make it back to back is at 7-2. Number 5, John Wick, 4-1. Also looking to make it back to back victories. 2 Nkanda Gold is at 5-1. 5-1 is the 3 on cue. It is sixes and better about those. Well, I thought I knew you, and definitely not. I think you have washed your hands of a horse, and that is on cue. Because I
Yeah.
don't see it in your double.
No, I didn't include her. The mare, yeah, she never disgraces herself.
But you were quite keen on her chances not so long ago, and suddenly she's fallen away. I
Yeah,
hate to remind you of these things.
I'm gonna be very upset if she if she
All
upstages
right,
me.
Fredo. 1, 2, 5, and 10, I think, is what I. 5
Yeah.
and 8 is
Yeah,
what I
so
saw.
I had the scratching in all my bets. You can just remove him.
Okay.
That's Sakale Skatulu.
Yes.
I actually liked his chances.
Okay.
Yeah, no, John Wick's loving life since been dropped to 1,000 meters. I mean, he was touched off in his penultimate start. He looked to win on that occasion. Last time out, super impressive. Scooted to that inside running rail under SK.
Thought you were going to bring that up.
Nah, he's drawn on the right side of the
Yeah.
track. So yes, I don't think the £6 penalty is going to stop him whatsoever. He's going to go very close over here. But I think he's got a few dangers. In Inafix did frank that form. He came out and franked it. But I think he's got some dangers over here because this horse, number 1, Don't Shoot the Barman. Earlier in his career, he was his own worst enemy. He was over racing and very fierce in running. Last time out, if you recall, there was a horse called vaal, who actually is in this race now. He tracked him and he settled beautifully. And that allowed him to give that finishing kick. So he did pick up £4 for that victory. But I think he's drawn alongside John Wick. Maybe things really pan out well for him over here. So Don't Shoot the Barman, a lively contender. And then if you like his chances, Nkandla Gold. Nice improvement in his last start. And he's 2.5 kilograms better off with Don't Shoot the Barman. And more particularly, Gavin knows him better in running this time round. So yes, you can see my selection slide did include number 8, but I think it's a 3-cornered contest, 1, 2, and 5 to fight it out.
1, 2, and a 5. I'm putting together a dossier on Gavin and his method of selecting his mounts. That merit rating plays a big part in him riding a horse. Just like, don't be surprised one of these days if he gets back on Pendragon once that merit rating comes down. He's a master at that. That is your last double. Take out the 8, and that will leave you with an outlay of R6. Betway Merit Rated 66 handicap will round off our meeting at the Vaal Classic track on a Thursday. It's off at 16:35. We've got a couple of scratchings come through, and they are stable companions 5 Mariachi Madness and 6 Surprised Platinum, both are from the Clinton Binder stable and informed Clinton Binder stable. Now in a race number 8, a trappy contest, and the sort of race you want to try and catch that get out of it quartet. It is the 8 in a fix, alluded to by Mr. Marine not so long ago. At 33-10, the 4 Dancing Dora certainly takes her racing well, 15-4. The 9 Twice as Wild, 4-1, 9-2 is the 1 Commander of All. 7-1, the 7 Vaal Vegas. It is 8-1 about the 2 After Hours this afternoon on Thursday, to be partnered by Muzi Yeni. It's 13s and better bar those. So the field has been reduced to 10 runners, but doesn't seem to make the task much easier or any easier.
Very tricky race to end off. Twice as Wild, improved last time out when returning from a rest. Fuller Sunday knows her extremely well. She breaks well and she's got a neat draw, so she should be there for nothing. Dancing Dora, she loves this track and trip. And Chase knows her well. Also neatly drawn, so she should be thereabouts. Just looking at the way the betting is structured, I've recommended an each way bet just strictly because of the price. I thought Dark Tide at around 14-1 represented value. I'm hoping we're going to get a run for our money over here. On his last start, yes, he is held, but he's 2 kgs better off, and he had excuses on that occasion. So I think Inafix is 33-10. He's at 14-1. you're nearly getting the price a place as in a fix for a win. He loves a course in distance. I know he's yet to win, but he's had 4 efforts and he's earned 3 checks. So yeah, he's got 53 to shoulder, lovely draw, and he's never far off. So I'm hoping he breaks well, sits midfield, even a little bit closer to the pace, and I think he could run them down. 14 to 1 each way value, but very, very tricky. I mean, barring my bet that I've suggested, Dancing Door is my second pick. Then you have to look at Twice as Wild, Commander of All, After Hours. Sure. In a fix.
Fix. After Hours is another one of those that falls into the category of the rating tumbling down. That win just won't come through. But Dog Tide, yes, certainly. Mr. Kachetti knows the horse well. He's won on it, as well as placing on 3 occasions from 8 outings. That is the each-way play, and of course we felt that passion in his assessment of 10 Dog Tide. So do not ignore, maybe 14 to 1 will not be available come race 8.